Over the next few reflections, I want to dwell on the readings I shall be using for the carol services on Sunday the 20th of December. We begin with some words from the prophet Isaiah. Reading Isaiah chapter 9 verses 2, 6 and 7. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. For a child has been born for us, a son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His authority shall grow continually, and there shall be endless peace for the throne of David and his kingdom. He will establish this and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. Zeal is not a common word in the compendium of regular usage. The simple definition is enthusiasm or eagerness, but it can be defined as an ardent interest in pursuit of something. This last definition gives some sense of commitment behind the word. The Lord of hosts has not just got enthusiasm, but an ardent interest in the pursuit of this event, the gift of a child to the world. There have been many children gifted to the world, but there was one who would be born several centuries after the prophet Isaiah, who is seen as the fulfillment of these prophetic words. People can have many titles during their lifetime, depending upon what they do and are doing at various times. One with many titles has the given names Charles Philip Arthur George. His titles are His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales and Earl of Chester, His Royal Highness the Duke of Rothesay and the Earl of Carrick, His Royal Highness the Duke of Cornwall, His Royal Highness Prince Charles of Edinburgh, Baron of Renfrew and Lord of the Isles, Prince and Great Steward of Scotland. He's a General in the British Army, Admiral in the Royal Navy, Air Chief Marshal in the Royal Air Force. He's also a son, husband, father, grandfather. One person, many titles, many roles. Jesus fulfills the titles from Isaiah. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Whilst being more than this, Good Shepherd, the light of the world, the way, the truth and the life, indeed being the very Son of God. As Charles Wesley put it in one of his hymns, our God, contracted to a span, incomprehensibly made man. So often we separate the various parts of a person's life, their place of birth, schooling, jobs, interests, from one another. Yet each part is a piece of the whole. With Jesus, the birth is not just the beginning of a life story, but a central and key part of it. Without the birth of Jesus, there could have been no life, no ministry, no death. The beginning and the end are linked, but as we shall see in a few days, we need to think carefully about defining beginning. In this Advent season, we prepare to celebrate once more the greatest event in history around which the majority of world calendars revolve, the birth of a child called Jesus, in a stable in a place called Bethlehem. It was not an accident of history, but an intrinsic part of the purpose of God, foretold by a prophet in Israel centuries earlier. So let us pray. God of history, in these current days, may we remember that you are aware of all that is going on, aware of the pain and hurt people are going through. May we learn through these days to care for one another in the way we live, not putting self-pleasure before the well-being of others, but loving one another as you have loved us. Amen. And now I invite you to click the link, listen to a song by Graham Kendrick called Thorn in the Straw.